lot of people in our organization actually create shortcuts, and so I don't like to call things as MMR, because sometimes it can, for example, if all of you quickly close your eyes, how many of you know the full form of MMR, CCA, FCC? Very, very difficult, okay? And two examples which come to me, and I want to start from there because Bijay very beautifully mentioned about creating culture. I want to give you two examples of how this can actually harm the culture. One for the customer and one for our associate. In Shoppers Stop, we started off with a designation called Customer Care Associate. And because it's a long word, okay, once you print the card, it says Customer Care Associate, but to refer and say what are you, what's your designation, I'm a Customer Care Associate, is too long, especially for the youngsters, Twitter and Facebook, and that generation is difficult. So on their own, they started calling themselves as CCAs, which was still okay, internal. We actually took lots of pains to create a unique identity for our customers, calling them First Citizens. It's a registered trademark of Shoppers Stop called First Citizens. It went up to the Legislative Assembly of this state to fight, saying how can a private organization have a customer designated First Citizen? The First Citizen can be only President of India. But like Customer Care Associate became CCA, First Citizens became FCC. So we were in the store and then a cashier asked, "Sir, are you an FCC?" This customer is saying, "What is FCC?" Anyhow, it went on. It finally dragged to a stage where a customer wrote and said, "Mr. Nagesh, you have a department called UGS. What is UGS?" We were all wondering, what is UGS? Then we realized that undergarments short code in the buyers and merchandisers is UGS. And by mistake, one store on the day of opening, instead of calling undergarments a lingerie, was called UGS. Okay, so we actually, how what we start creating as something to create a culture can get destroyed. As we were talking about MMR, it just struck me. So I would request our hostess here to say manning modern retail, because that's what we want to do. Wonderful topic for the day. Building the enabling culture in Indian retail, reconciling business imperatives and human values. The word enabling is the most striking word for me, because the challenge that I have seen in my last 3 decades of work experience is, who is the enabler? In an organization, to deliver the culture, or what Bijay beautifully mentioned, create a culture, create a value system, who is the enabler? Is the organization the enabler, the company? Is the CEO the enabler? Is the CPO, the Chief People's Officer, the enabler? Or is the Chief of Operations the enabler? Or is the store manager the enabler? Or the Customer Care Associate the enabler? I think this is a big question that you have to ask. Because to me, fundamentally, every organization has to ask 3 questions on every decision that they take. Every decision that you take. You may have huge strategic sessions, you may have the McKinseys and the Accentures of the world. Ask these 3 questions. When I take a decision, how will this impact my customer? Second is, when I take this decision, how will it impact the shareholders or stakeholders? That's a better word to use, because look at profitability and everything. The third question I keep asking is, how will this decision impact the operational process in the store such that our team members can deliver the service culture that Bijay you were mentioning? And one of the things that I have realized is, the biggest enabler is this. Because most of the time when we're taking strategic decisions, whether it is about business strategy or people strategy, we always forget this one part, which is say, how will this help our people deliver what we want them to deliver on the front end? And there are hundreds of reasons, hundreds of examples that you can talk of. If shrinkage goes up, you start checking bags. If shrinkage comes down, you stop checking bags. If there is a bomb attack, everybody has to go through metal detector. There is no bomb attack. Today I was just touched on the top. I mean, this part of the body is very scanned. Okay, I was carrying a gun here. Don't tell outside. I mean, all these processes start creating a problem from the front end. So my big question is, who is the enabler? I don't have an answer, but I will leave this question to you. To me, the important part is, If you know what you want to deliver, you have to create a culture of enabling itself, which is important.